broadcast. I am Williams. Welcome all of you. Thank you very much for being a part of this episode on Williams broadcast. Yes, three stories. One is Yoweri Museveni lamenting, crying out loud due to the rampant corruption in his state house. I don't know whether it is State House in Entebbe or Nakasero or in general. So he cried out and was like, actually admitted that the system is dead. System dead. From Yoweri Museveni. I am Williams. This is where Williams broadcast. Thank you very much for being with me today as we digest, as we try to understand what exactly the three stories mean. First one is where Yoweri Museveni is admitting, saying, yes, it is true, the system is dead due to corruption up to the state house where he stays. That is one. Story number two is about Honorable Nabanja, the Prime Minister in his regime, also admitting that the system is dead due to the vote rigging, due to the corruption, due to the fraud in the election, especially in the recent primaries of the NRM. Actually, she told a good story that is worth attention. She was like, in one constituency, I got 201 votes, but later on I was called and one of my voters said, one of the voters was complaining that according to the sheets here, total votes you got 201, but what they are reading out is 900 votes. Later on she said that that was a trick. As they inflated mine, they wanted to also play a game for another person. They do it like this. They might accumulate or inflate your votes in order to make another person win the other side. That is an interesting story. Also, there is another one where the presidential aspirants are in hundreds. Right now. So those are the two stories we want to talk about. Not forgetting or not turning a blind eye and deaf ear to Nandala Mafabi being the flag bearer of the FDC come 2026 presidential race. Isomunyaba also at the Electoral Commission going to pick nomination forms. Munyagwa Wange of the Common Man's Party of the Pira on the Musania also said that when the moment he becomes the president, will make sure that Uganda is no longer a part of the East African community. A lot is happening in Uganda. Yeah, so that is it, and it is what I've come to talk about today. There are several other stories I've seen. The National Unity Platform also taking presenting a petition at the High Court, is it? Trying to echo their voice against the bill that was passed, the UPDF amendment bill, which was passed several months or 2 months, 3 ago. So, where can I start? I appreciate you guys wherever you come and be in the comment section with the supplements, compliments, and with the questions about whatever, some of the stuff we put here. You know, we have 2 YouTube channels. This one is Williams Broadcast. We have Williams Podcast with it is another YouTube channel only for the creative and performing arts. Actually talking about creative and performing arts, Chosen Becky, an Afro pop and beat music artist, was engaged by a former employee. Meaning, this new love of Chosen Becky was once a cameraman, actually still a cameraman, was a cameraman when Chosen Becky was still in love with former boyfriend, husband, etc., just name it, that is Dictator Mayor. So when they separated, actually I remember seeing Dictator Mayor Also trying to say that when the truth comes out, you will know. You will know. Because Becky is in love with that camera guy. But eventually, and of course, facts to it is that they engaged, they peck it and they kiss it on camera, which is, should I say, good. Love is a good thing. And of course, people have come out to criticize, others have come out to say, go ahead, Chosen Becky, enjoy your moment. So that is Chosen Becky for the entertainment. Also, the ceremony of introduction of Desire Ruzinda introducing Rubiogo Leviksoni. It was a huge event. I saw all the celebrities, right from the comedians, stand-up comedians. I saw music artists, audio producers, sound engineers, writers, a lot of stuff. A lot of people went, several people. Oh, the fraternity was heavily represented. So Desire Ruzinda is off the hook, is now for Levickson. Definitely, whenever you see those people in the limelight, call them celebrities, people who are famous, who are popular, when they get engaged, when they get serious, when it comes to love and relationships, definitely there will be backlash, there will be reverb, echo, chorus, and feedback subject to public scrutiny and debate. Many people are saying a lot of stuff. Today I saw a clip on Bukede TV in the morning on program called, in the segment of Olugambo, Raseguya. Captain Juma Seiko also complaining, grumbling, saying that Desire Zinda never allowed me or never accepted us to go for DNA. She said in note of the DNA process, you know, Desire Zinda has a beautiful daughter of hers. So Captain Juma Seiko, amidst all the happiness and joy of Desire Zinda engaging and introducing Levickson, here comes Captain Juma Seiko. So a lot is happening around them, but for me, I wish them luck. I wish them all the best, because love, we are supposed to enjoy love. Let us enjoy it. If Desire Zinda chooses or decides to move on and feels happy with Levickson, so be it. If Chosen Beck feels fine with the cameraman, so be it. I'll stop at that. So I was just telling you that we have that channel that is responsible for that, creative and performing arts, and we also have YouTube channel, Instagram, Williams Podcast, Facebook, Williams Podcast, TikTok, Williams Podcast, and this is Williams Broadcast. So, Jaja Yoweri Museveni, the overlay you're seeing, due to copyright, I cannot play back his voices because there is music, there is a bed in the background. Once you play it when it has copyrighted sounds, the International Standard Record Code will claim that sound and I'll end up being striked. So that's how copyright works. So it is an overlay, as you sing that clip. In that clip, Jaja Yoweri Museveni was saying, we heard him say that State House is full of corruption. Actually, what people have always talked about is confirmed and affirmed by the general himself. People have already said that to reach Jaja Yoweri Museveni, to get your papers for tender, for investment, name it, through or be signed by General Yoweri Museveni, you have to go through a lot of protocol, you have to go through a lot of steps, and you have to go through a lot of people, and you have to pay this one, the other one, and by the time you reach the president to sign your contract or proposal, whatever, you have spent a lot of money. So in this clip where you're not hearing his voice, Jaja Yoweri Museveni is like, my home is full of corruption. And he narrates a story of people of State House are paid to bring me contracts, to bring me proposals, to bring me projects to sign. And he says, normally I go ahead and sign, not knowing that these people are being paid. Whoever brings me letters to sign, or proposals to sign, projects, tender approvals, is paid. And he said that several people have been or had been arrested by the time he said this. You who is watching and listening to me on William's broadcast, why do I bring this story to you guys? Because this is testimony. The born-again Pentecostal church goers or believers, normally after God has performed a miracle, after prayer, intercessions and stuff, people will come back to give testimonies of my child has been able to graduate, has got good points at P7, Senior 6 and etc. And when, if the opposition people have already have talked about certain stuff, and later on you see people testifying about the stuff being said always by the people of the opposition, it is a miracle done by God, and it is worth celebration, especially testimony coming out of the president of NRM. I am Williams, and this is Williams broadcast. So, Judge Yoweri Museveni is like, we have arrested several State House human resource. I was like, it is worth talking about. It is a story worth talking about. You know, normally I tell you when I'm preparing for these shows, like today I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Tired is for Bungereza, depending on your English. For me, from Bungereza and modern past, I am tired and okay, I am exhausted today because I've had a long day, but I had to come and do some stuff. For you people, my viewers, and it is worth talking about. This testimony coming out is just confirmation that, hey, a lot of stuff is happening, has happened, is to happen, is still happening. We have received, listened to, and heard testimonies during the primaries recently of the NRM, where people came out to be like Afande Kayanja, yes, there is vote rigging, there is corruption, there is etc. in the elections. That was testimonial, that was a testimony and evidence enough. If it was a political party on the opposition, people would be in a court right now. But good thing is that, of course, they have a tribunal that is investigating all the challenges or wrangles around the primaries, but it is not to an extent like it would have been if it was for the opposition. So, Yoweri Museveni, thank you very much for that confirmation, for that testimony, telling us that you agree that your system is dead, also that the State House is corrupt, that you have arrested some people. And another thing about the same story is when he said that actually I could not even get reports through my intelligence, through security operatives, through State House investigators. No, they feared for their lives. Some people feared for their jobs, for their employment. So muzira kisayani muluzungu. A person, a well-wisher who had it at heart, went ahead and told my daughter, quoting Judge Yoweri Museveni, that someone went and told the patient's daughter to the General Yoweri Museveni, who took it to General Yoweri Museveni. So now the system is dead to an extent of the operatives responsible for intelligence and investigation can no longer deal with corruption with some investigative staff at State House of Judge Yoweri Museveni. It took a person to bypass the entire system and go take information to patients, how, where, when. Patients miraculously also took it to her father. It was like Muzei, waliwo baby kajjo byo. Waliwo baby kajjo Muzei ne bibe bikajjo byawe bitakuli byawe babimazeewo. nobiha nti tewali kulimba munange nibabitwala. So you know, when you listen to some stuff, you know, when I'm supposed to have a communication or broadcast, a podcast episode, I go through a lot of stories, but there are stories I'm like, this is a sweet story as a podcast. It is a sweet story. Actually, someone was asking me about what's the difference between a vlogger, and a podcaster. A podcast, it is a platform. Formerly, it was just for audio. It is in series. Normally, a podcaster will come, host some people. You can host some people. You always a brief platform that will communicate periodically. You can choose to upload every week, once a week, twice a week, or once a month. So that's a podcast. A podcast also is opinionated. You give your opinions. You come with the analysis and stuff. Bloggers are giving news as is. Actually, a podcaster can also give news. Vloggers are those people who do especially the travel documentation. They'll go like, be like, in France there is this, there's documentation of cities and stuff. So for me, a podcast, and normally these days podcasts are on camera. They're no longer so much in audio. Yeah, so me as a podcaster, as a videographer who periodically puts up stuff for you guys, their stories will be like, this one is not worth it, and another one will be worth it. And this story of Judge Yoweri Museveni confessing and admitting that the system is dead was like a good one for me. Not celebrating and not calling it a plus for Uganda. It is a pity, it is unfortunate that it is coming from Jaja himself after several years of people complaining about corruption. And one time he even he trekked to fight against corruption. Now he's confessing that it is dead, especially in the state house. That is one. Another story is about the Prime Minister. Prime Minister of the regime of Yoweri Museveni is hard. Actually, the other time I ran a story here on my platform telling you, actually I played the voice of the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Anita Mong, whom I saw with Pope Leo. Actually, I don't know how she gets chances of meeting popes. I saw her meeting the Papa Leo, the new one, the newly elected. So, Anita Mong, I had her say that the roads are rotten. She said that during the NRM primaries, she's traveled through some roads and they were impassable. That during sunny seasons, she was like dust cover windscreens and you would not see where you are heading to, and hence accidents. Williams broadcast with me, Williams, and this is an episode on this podcast where I'm saying that the Prime Minister of the regime of Yoweri Museveni also comes up with another testimony. She's like, wow, some people are not good people. How come I got 201 votes and someone is inflating, exaggerating the votes, then the vote numbers to 900? And, you know, it's not that the opposition is infiltrating their system. Of course, I had one Honorable at some point say that, no, the national platform entered our system, manipulated and played around with the... Of course, he will play propaganda here and there, but in this case, I've not heard, I did not hear Honorable Nabanja say that it was national platform, FDC or ETC opposition party. She was proper and straight to the point. She was like, it was done by the NRM. It is not a good story in the sense of me celebrating or what celebration, but it is just emphasizing the fragility, how fragile our systems, our politics, our democracy is, the fragility of the regime that is responsible for organizing the elections come 2026, the system that has always been questioned when it comes to elections, the system that has had challenges in their primaries, and now the arch minister, the cardinal minister, prime minister on the other side, comes out to tell us that yes, wow, guys, just know that the corruption is all over our system. It is Williams broadcast with me, Williams, and it is so unfortunate. And by the way, the National Unity Platform has that saying of Imandwa Bwanika. Imandwa Bwanika. Because when you meditate, trying to comprehend whatever is said every now and then, especially coming from the NRM, you're like, how come at this time all this is coming out? Yes, probably it's Imandwa Bwanika that is making these people give obujulizi about themselves. You know, the one I remember was like, yes, it's true, some people are not good, they inflated my... So that is unfortunate for a country like Uganda. Another one is the play around in the nomination process. Of course, people who know how systems play malice and blackmail in politics, political science and psychology. Malice and blackmail is when, not the malice and blackmail you have known about in normal senses of grammar, but malicing and blackmailing democracy. Because I understand everyone is entitled to stand as president or to aspire to stand as president, but the way where we're heading isn't bright enough. We are becoming more vulnerable. We need special care. We are becoming more delicate. The fragility is getting higher. The tides of vulnerability is higher. Higher. I'm laughing, but it's not a laughing matter. I saw a lot of several people. Actually, I don't feel like even playing the voices. Good thing that normally when whenever I come to post, you have by chance watched and had. There, I saw a journalist team. Actually, I'm forgetting this my student's name. He's a journalist who works with Salty and media. He's like, we are going to change Uganda. We are going to change Uganda. Everything is supposed to change. That one, you put him aside. There is this one who speaks like midday. This language, actually, the communication is not clear at all. Is also a youth. It's like, we are taking away, we are removing a dictator. There are two senior six vacists. They are like, yes, we are changing our country. It is high time. Of course, Katumba Oye is still there. Then there is Munyagwa. There are several others. The Electoral Commission said that they are in hundreds. Actually, and the number is 100 and some digits. Not that it is not good for people to stand for residency or to put their willingness and intentions to stand and serve their nation, Uganda, but the status quo suggests otherwise. Uganda is at portals of destruction, mass destruction, where you need seriousness. I see some people just joking, seem to be joking. Maybe yes, maybe not. But for me, some people are unnecessary in this matter of standing as presidents. Of course, I had the Todong from the side of the NRM when was asked whether it is true that it is the NRM that is playing around and bringing in these people, sponsoring them to malice and blackmail democracy in Uganda. Definitely, Trodong denied the allegation, but several people have heard them, and me also having that feel that probably it is the NRM. Is it Judge, are you the one bringing all these people to come and dismantle, cause havoc, malice and blackmail our democracy? I don't know. Like I said last time, we're still waiting for the big story of the national unity platform to give us the flag bearers. Guys, I know you can make it. Mutu story yo. Mutu bulide ushamimu ne malende and the other lady ani agino kutwala kati. Just give us the story, man. Yes, give it to us. And of course, I've not seen National Unity Platform pick up nomination papers for presidency. I've not seen them. Yes, I also would love to see Kyagulanyi the other day of getting nominated, where he did this hop, step, and jump, triple jump. Actually, it is triple jump. He tripled. Mitembo. Actually, I thank God he came. All factors remaining constant, I thank God he came. I've been able to see some stuff, in my opinion, just because of his involvement in all this things, issue, politics. So we're still waiting for that story, and let us meditate. Give your opinion on Yoweri Museveni confessing, admitting, giving testimony that his system is dead. What does that mean? Does it mean that what the Kyagulanyis have always said is true, bitter truth? Does it mean that we are doomed already? Are we dead? Because once the ecosystem is dead, we are dead. What is ahead of us as Uganda? Because the general was like, actually, it was the way he told the story, the facial expressions showed fear. I could see fear, worry, weary, a lot of things. And I was like, where has he been? Where has Piso, Iso, Diso, Pele, Papa, Pita, Titit been? It is unfortunate that all that is happening in Uganda, but fortunately we're able to hear it from the horse's mouth. Normally, Uganda will say that the tilapia always rot from the head. William, olugero lw'ekyennyanja kivunda ku mutwe olese wotyo tilapia. Simanyi tilapia yengedi. Kasita tilapia nakyo kika kya kyennyanja. Will rot from the head. Jjajja Yoweri Museveni. Why do you make us to tell a story like that? To olugero, a saying that is it true now that it is rotting from the state house to the stigma in Mamiri's voice? It is unfortunate. And these stories and testimonies are back to back. On TV, NBS, you see Prime Minister Nabanja, Right Honorable Nabanja, confessing that voter rigging, corruption, fraudulent acts are real. The other side, you see Afande Kayanja crying, lamenting, crocodile tears about acts of injustice in the elections. The other time, you'll hear Francis Babu, Honorable, former minister, also saying, Wowe, I've lost my son. Wowe, should we tell people where you keep your money outside and how the assets you have there? And I'm like, wow, you can give your comments, you can give your proposals on how better we can deal with these issues, especially as we're heading for the general elections 2026. Also about the number of people who are willing or offering themselves for presidency come 2026. I am Williams, and this is Williams Broadcast. Normally when I bring these stories, I appreciate you guys when you bring otherwise comments or proposals, suggestions, because the reason we put this information, we put this education here, we put this broadcast here, is to give you stuff for you to give feedback, for us to see how we can move forward. Because now you have political parties. I saw the National Peasants part of Sesha Mayanja, former Eagles Production and Golden Band member of music practice. Also, they opened up their office formally. Politics is not good in Uganda. I should say that. We are not doing good politically in Uganda. We are not progressing in any way. It is nowhere we're going, especially when the opposition is attacking each other. The havoc and the bicker is so much among the opposition than the opposition getting for Yoweri Museveni. You know, when you're meditating and reflecting about what is going on in Uganda, you're like, what is ahead of us? What will Uganda be 2, 5, 10 years from now? When away from all that, with them stupid tabloid in Uganda, those are the new funniest, stupid, silly stories on TikTok. You see people, the youth, who have gone to school, who have graduated, who have done a lot of stuff from actually serious families. Instead of doing serious work, instead of looking for employment, instead of trying to start small entertainment, small and medium enterprises, or SMEs as they call them, instead of trying to see that they can forge their way forward, they are on TikTok attacking each other with vulgarity. That's why I call it stupid and silly tabloid. You know, in the news, apart from the mainstream news where you see hard news on radio, mainstream print papers, Observer, Daily Monitor, and News Vision, it is accepted. It is acceptable to have tabloid papers like we had the Ready paper. Actually, Ready paper is it still existing? Because I can ably read Ready paper now online. We had Onion, we had Kamunye, those tabloids, The Sun. Actually, for us, we do it badly in Africa. We call tabloids, we turn tabloids into vulgar, into obscenity, into nudity. Tabloids are for entertainment, show business, social life, music, fashion, style. Those are tabloids. Like you see TMZ in the US. For us, we call it TMZ. In Uganda, tabloid is turned into nudity, obscene and vulgarity, which is not a good thing. So whenever I fail to categorize it, I call it stupid and silly tabloid news or citizenship journalism in Uganda, on TikTok especially, and YouTube of late. One hosts the other to abuse another. They sit on a form, abuse a person. A person will be hosted somewhere to abuse or bring feedback, attack back the ones who attacked first. And we are into that. And tomorrow, kumatikira gw'omutanda, we will lie to ourselves that it is unfortunate. It is really unfortunate. And these are the people inspiring our children we take to school expensively, because you know the scholastic system, the scholastic material, the curricular expenses are high in Uganda. So you send money to take whoever, your child, your kid, your children, daughter, son, to school. Your daughters get inspired on phones or through phones or in applications, because the phone you buy them phones, iPhone 14 Pro Max, 13, etc. They get inspired by these guys who sit on their YouTube channels, on their TikTok. They get inspired. So it is unfortunate for our tomorrow, especially when we were born. No kamba bana abana bagenda kubaawo. But ate bo balaba baakali. Actually, I saw my daughter they had a play at their school. They had a play. I don't know what inspired their play. They explained to me when they sent me photos. I saw Gloria putting on akakofiira kaba contractor cape bajita, and there is a boy also putting on akakundi, and Grace is like is the one who has brought Grace and the gentleman. And Gloria and the gentleman is brought by Grace, and another guy is seated like Yoweri Museveni. They played their stuff, portraying or explaining to us how corrupt the system is. Because Grace, my daughter, brought the contractors, fake contractors, to get contracts from Yoweri Museveni. And I was like, Grace, you know, people get inspired. Their story had good sense. They had good education and information out of that. And it is not good okuleta ba contractors abachamu nobody president. Era ba contractors omulimu tebagufunye. That is at least yadeko inspiration. But people are getting inspired. You know that in Uganda, people are no longer inspired for good stuff. They are inspired okwemula okwetunda abana betunda cheri mu Uganda we wamesite okwemula andi bintu byokwemula bino mu lwatu oba bizze bityo okutuuka wala wetuli. I don't know how we ended up here, but all in all, should I say God is in control? Definitely God cannot fail to be in total control, especially when we concentrate, meditate, take time to always pray for better direction and guidance. I think that is enough for today. I am Williams. I'm waiting for your comments, giving your opinions on Judge Yoweri Museveni's remarks on corruption and system death in the State House, Honorable Nabanja's lamentations and crocodile tears about vote-rigging, corruption and etc. in the NRM primaries, electoral process, how dead it was, and also the number of aspirants for presidents in coming 2026. Otherwise, Williams broadcast. Goodbye.